Hi everyone, I am Teddy the Drag Queen, and I am here today with the Royal Voluntary Service with the Virtual Village Hall to give you a wonderful makeup tutorial. Good morning to all the villagers out there, and welcome to our makeup tutorial. So, for those of you that don't know who I am, I've already said I am Teddy the Drag Queen. My pronouns are she, they in drag, and outside of drag, they are he, she, or they. I am also the chair of Peterborough Pride as well. And if you are local to Peterborough, hello. We are planning on doing our main Pride celebration on August 20th with our parade as well. So make sure you come down and check me out. So, I'm here to talk to you today about makeup. Obviously, you must sit there and be thinking, "Oh wow, she's already done." I'm not finished just yet. I am here to give you a little contouring masterclass, and I'm going to teach you two ways you can do your contour. There's many other ways to do them, of course. So I'll just give you a brief overview of what I've done already, which is hello, Karen. Nice to see you. Which is very simple. So I have gone in with my beard blocker in the shade of orange. I've then covered that with a foundation. I then put my Fenty foundation over the top. I've then gone in with for my highlights, my concealer. And then I have done my eyebrows, my eyeshadow, and my lips after I've set all of that. And I've also done parts of contouring on my face and on my chin. Now, for me personally, contouring is hi Irene. Contouring is so I can feminize my face a bit more. I've already got quite a feminine face anyway, but it helps me carve out shapes and other bits and pieces as well. And it also brings dimension to the face. Now, obviously, drag makeup is theatre makeup. So I don't expect anyone to be doing this severe level of makeup. However, I can give you some tips if you want to help with your own makeup, which is why I've done two different types of contouring. So the first type we're going to talk about is just with powders. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Sarah. Thank you for joining. And we're going to be using the BPerfect Shapeshifter palette. It's a great palette and it comes in variation of shades, as you can see. So I tend to use this shade and this shade, depending on how dark my foundation is, and sometimes I mix the two. But obviously, as you can see, you can contour all the way down to those. And it's a great little palette as well. It also gives you a little peach and a little under eye highlight as well. So what you're going to be needing to do this is just with powders, is you're going to need your palette and you're going to need a contour brush. Now, a contour brush is a bit like a flat-edged brush. I'll try and show you as much as I can. I'll do the special beauty Instagrammer thing that everybody does. Don't know why they do that, but hey-ho. And this is just a little angled brush that just tips forward. So when you're doing the contour of your cheek, it then just covers in there. I'm just going to check the messages. Hi, Eleanor. Nice to see you. And big waves to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And big thanks to the Royal Voluntary Service and the Virtual Village Hall for doing this. And it's part of their Pride programme. Hopefully, I'll be back for more if you guys want me. But let's start. So you just want some general strokes on the brush. And then what you're going to do is you're going to find where your cheekbone is. So mine's here. And then you are just going to sweep up into that crevice. Okay. Now, obviously, and just continue sweeping up, up, up. And then you can have a look at if you need to come down and really just sort of circle around that. And as you can see already, if you look from this side to this side, this has already changed dimension and made the illusion that my cheekbone is stuck out a bit more. So because of that, if I go quiet for anything, it's just because I'm just looking at the comments. That's all. So as you can see already, just by doing that, that's already created the illusion that my cheekbone has already come out a bit more. And as you can see, it's feminized my face slightly. If you have a particularly round face, so my face is a little bit round, what you can also do is you can take this contour and you can also sweep it down. So you can take that powder and you can sweep down a bit. And what that does is, I might need a bit more powder on my brush. And what that does is that just gives you that extra snatched look on your face, as you can see. Excuse me, as you can see, you can now, you've got your one going this way and you've got your one going that way. Now, if you don't have a round face, I wouldn't suggest doing the second part here. It won't do much for you, but if you do have quite a round face, then you can, then it will just add another level and dimension to your face as well. Now, as I said, I sometimes use both depending on my foundation color. And as obviously because I've got tanned in the very nice weather, I've gone for a slightly darker foundation tone. So, and that's also important as well about foundation, is that it needs to try and match your skin as much as possible. So I then will also use this slightly darker variation of contour, and I will go in with that again. And then I will leave it there. And then what I will do is I will get another brush, just a big round brush for you, and I will just feather that out, just so it doesn't look like we have a very big line on our face. And as you can see, it's changed the dimension of my face already. If I sort of zoom in for you there, you can see how that's just made that cheekbone just stand out a bit more. Just going to check the comments, see if I've got any. You haven't missed the eye makeup at all. And we're just talking about contouring, and we're going to be doing, like the virtual village hall has just said, we're going to be just doing contouring today, and then we'll be doing probably eye makeup another day. But no, you haven't missed anything. I finished my face just because I didn't want to scare any of you when I was going to put it on. So normally I would put my contour on before anything else, after I've done my highlights, but I'm just showing you a contouring masterclass today. So thank you for that. So that's pretty much your powder contour done. And now if you're doing a day-to-day look, this is something that you can really just go ahead and, you know, really achieve. It's very light, it's nothing too major. It's quite a wearable look. And like I said, obviously about the slight techniques, you're going up into the contour of the face, and then you can come back down and do a little thing and do a little sort of side part if you've got a rounder face. If you've not got a rounder face, I wouldn't suggest that because it wouldn't help the dimensions of your face. And then after you've finished that contour, we always need a little bit of blush. So it's the same palette, it's the Shapeshifter palette, and it comes in two, and it comes in like this. So this is the blushes, and this is the contour. And I always like to put a bit of blush over my contour, just so it then equals it out. So I'm going to go in with this, and as you can see, it's very well worn. I'm going to go in with this sort of lovely orange colour, and you just need a big fluffy brush for this. And you just sort of find the apple of your cheek, you go from the apple, and you just take that into that contour. Just take that really into that contour. And then you just finish that off. And as you can see, it just, again, gives that lovely level of a bit of difference with your makeup as well. Thank you very much, Sue. That's very kind. It is very early morning. I normally do nighttime gigs. So for me to look anything like gorgeous today, you've brightened up my day. And then again, with everything, once you've done that blush, make sure you just wipe away the excess. It's just so it's all blended, because we like to see a nice little blended face. And that can be patting, that can be anything like that. And then after you've done your blush, I always like to just put a little bit of highlight on, because the world is better with highlight, isn't it? So you can sort of use any of these colors, but I'm just going to use this sort of light orange, and you just tap it on your brush, and you can use the same one that you've used for your blush brush. And all you're going to do is you're just going to take that into that contour line, take that into that highlighting line. So a bit above here as well. And then you should be able to see how it's just giving you a bit more of a shimmer and a bit more of a shine. And that also helps as well with the dimension of your face. So then when people look at you, it depends on how much you want to stamp the highlight on. I like quite a bit of highlight. just because I think it just looks nice to look a little bit like a lovely goddess descended from on high. So yeah, and then that's essentially, again, wipe away the excess, make sure that's all blended in. And that's pretty much your powdered, contoured look. As you can see, like for me and my face, I haven't had to do a lot and it's already changed the dimension as well. If you're not a heavy makeup kind of girl, this guy or person, you can always, this is sort of the perfect look really. So if you don't sort of want really defined lines and looks, then this sort of powdered contour with the blush and the highlight really accentuates that sort of your more natural features. Now, like I've said before, I obviously drag makeup is stage makeup. So as you can see, my other contoured bits here and here are a bit more severe. And I achieve those by doing a cream contour. Now, you can just do a cream contour on itself and you can leave your face, you can sort of set your face with just a setting spray. However, I always, because again, it's sort of theatre makeup for me, I always prefer to set the makeup and make sure that it's not budging at all. It can be very hot under all the wigs and all the costumes. So we make sure that it's set and it's right in place. So to achieve the cream contour, you will need one of these, which is a contour stick. Again, mine is from BPerfect. It's the Shape Stick by ZACKARY, and it's in the color of a latte. It's in a nice sort of light warm brown. Again, with anything contour, if you can get stuff in more of a warmer tone, that always helps. Cooler tones, your warmer tones are reds, oranges, lighter browns like that. Obviously, you can see it's sort of a lighter brown. That is always more beneficial to you and your skin than over a cool tone. And unless you know your skin is a cool tone and you use cool tone makeup, I wouldn't necessarily suggest using a cool tone. Okay, so get the Shape Stick, and what you're wanting to do is really, you should only be contouring the top part here with a cream contour. So if I can, you're only really wanting to do that with it. And again, you're going in an upward motion. You might sit there and think, oh, that's not a lot. Then we're going to be grabbing a makeup sponge. Mine is from Luxe Beauty. They do lovely sponges. I think you can get 3 for £30. They work really well, and I've had mine for years and years. So grab your sponge. Make sure that it's damp, not wet. We don't want a wet sponge. We want a damp sponge, and then all you're going to do is you're just going to move that product down that line again. And again, you're going to go around the cheek if you want. And again, if you want to, you can also bring it downwards into that. If you've got that round fade, bring it down into that, so it just gives you an extra level of coverage there. And again, you might be thinking, oh, you look like you've got your twig on your face. Don't worry, this will all blend away. And as you can see again, it has brought in this part of my face and pushed out my cheekbone just a little bit, okay? So then with a cream contour, you're going to want to set that before you do anything else. So any setting powder will do at all. And I've just got to set the rest of my face up, but you want it in a translucent, and they're everywhere, and they can go from £5 to £25. If you're on a budget, I would suggest the XX Revolution. They're really good. If you want something a bit more expensive, I would suggest there's some by Morphe. I think it's called Flower. But you're looking at sort of £27 to £35 for those ones. So what I've just done there is I've set the makeup, brushed away the excess, because obviously even though it's a translucent powder and won't add any colour, you don't want to be doing anything that adds any colour already to what's already quite a coloured product. And as you can see, it's sort of faded a little bit. So then what we do is, after we've done that, we go back in with our BPerfect Shapeshifter palette. You grab the two colours like we've done before. So our main colour, which is this lighter brown, or sunbun, actually, as it's called. How fun. And again, we're just sweeping up. We're just sweeping up. We're just sweeping up. And obviously, it doesn't matter if you pile the product on. Normally, what I do is I sit and bake. For those people that don't know what baking is, it just makes the makeup. You just sort of sit there for about 20 minutes, half an hour, or however long you want to. You can do it for an hour, 2 hours, whatever you want to do. And you're just sitting, and it's just giving the makeup time to absorb the color in there. Obviously, if you've got time to do that, not everybody. Some people are on the go constantly, like I am, or just don't give themselves enough time to do their makeup. So as you can see, again, it looks quite heavy. It does look quite heavy compared to that side that was already naturally sort of blended in. This one does look heavy, and that's because the cream contour is sitting below this powder. But as you can see as well, it does give your face more definition towards your makeup. So yes, so normally, like I say, we wait 20 to 30 minutes. We're not going to do that today because we haven't got the time. So I'm going to immediately start brushing this, blending this in with that bigger brush. Hopefully what you will see is a nice little blended cheek. I'm sorry if you can hear the brush on the microphone. And as you can see also as well, this gives you a real cut into your face. You see how that's more generalized? This is a real deep sort of line into the face, and gives you more of that, you know, slightly more Kim K than the other version. So again, now that we've done that, we're going to go in with our blush again. So we're going to go back to our little Shapeshifter palette, and they come as a pair. And I believe they retail for around £27, I think. But you use them so much and so often. Always make sure as well when you're using products like eyeshadows or blushes that you just tap off the excess, because you don't want loads of product on there. And again, we're going to go in with this brush, this big sort of brush, take it from the apple of our cheek, and in we go. Obviously, there's more powder on that one than the other one. And we're just going to get in a bit more. And then, again, we're going to blend that in. I like to use circular motions. I don't know why. I always personally feel it just goes in a bit more, a bit better. And then you can keep blending, or you can stop whenever you want to stop. So if you feel as though your makeup is, if this is a bit too much, you can just keep blending, keep blending, keep blending. And then again, we finish on our highlighting section. So grab that same brush again, get the highlight, and then we just highlight along that same line into the lighter parts as well of your face. And then we, again, dust off the excess, circular motions. And there we are. And then after you've done that, and after you're happy, obviously I just corrected myself a little bit, hence why I puffed out my cheeks a little bit, just because it then gives you a bit of a more rounder finish. If you like blush, that is, you don't have to use blush. I sometimes just use highlight. And once you've done that, obviously you then get your trusty setting spray, which we all need. I always use the All Nighter Ultra Glow by Urban Decay. There is another one as well in a black bottle, which I think is just called All Nighter. This one, I don't know why, just gives you a bit more of a nicer glow. So shake it well, and then and as you can see, it sort of blurs everything together and pulls everything together, just so then you haven't got, it isn't sort of those defined lines that you've had before. And that is it really for the contour masterclass. Obviously, you have got one version which is the powder and one version which is the cream. The main difference being the cream contour just gives you that bit more of a base and a bit more of a structured line. Obviously, anybody that's watching that's wanting to go into drag, I would probably suggest using more of a cream contour than a powder contour, only because when, again, it's like theatre makeup, you've got to make it stand out. So you've got to make that stand out more. So yes, if you give me 1 second, I should just pop my wig on, and then we shall have some questions from the floor. So I'm now back with my wig on and everything else. And again, like any sort of part of performance, there'd also be a costume, or there would be something else. So if we want to open up the floor to questions, yes, Helen, your first question is correct. So I do contouring on my forehead, as you can tell here. I just do a powder on my nose, not a cream contour on my nose, only because I don't have a very big nose. I don't feel the need to contour all the way down. And I also contour my chin as well, just to round off that face. Again, that's cream contour. So forehead cream, chin, and yeah, it's chin, isn't it? This part, whatever this part's called. That's also cream contour with powder on top, cream contour with powder on top, and then nose is just powder. I just like the look of it more. And then normally I do my cheeks with both cream contour and powder as well. Right, let me just have a look at any more of these questions. Thank you very much. That is also part of it as well. So Alison said the makeup works really well with that wig. Yeah, that's sort of part of what you're trying to achieve, especially in drag. You're wanting things to look sort of symmetrical, or you're wanting things to match. So I either would do a matching eye or cheek or lip, or you're just trying to make things a bit more cohesive. You can, or you can do the opposite, which is completely separate, different, and that works as well. It just depends on if all the things color in. I personally go for more of the the pinks, the blues, the nudes, because for me they work better on me and my drag. Somebody else might work better with neon, or cerise pink or whatever. But for me, it's a bit more natural colors I try to go for, because my drag is also quite high femme, or more sort of natural than others. So Catherine, I've never used a setting spray. Does it set eye makeup too? It sets all makeup. So if you're just focusing on the eye, however, I would say eye makeup's pretty set already. Because obviously if you're using a powder or graphic liner or whatever, a lot of those products you pack on. But setting sprays are used for all types of makeup, and they are used for all types of yeah, all types of makeup and all types of different parts of makeup as well. So I know a lot of people that just do eyes, and they will set their eyes with a setting spray. And you can, even if you really want to, I've seen this before on social media, you can take a beauty sponge, you can take your setting spray, spray the beauty sponge, and then tap that in. And then that will also give you another level of sort of setting, as it was. Eleanor May, have you already used the same products, or do you change it quite regularly? So when I was poor and had no, I didn't have any gigs, and I was a new queen. I didn't have, wasn't making a lot of money. I would be using the cheapest products as possible. Um, and I would use various different products. There was a time when I would try a lot of products as well. Um, but now that I know my rhythm and now that I know how much everything costs and I'm earning from doing drag, I tend to stick with the same products unless I get told by somebody, this is amazing or that's amazing, or you should really do this, you should really do that. Or one, have you seen this yet? Or the more makeup that I'm investing in is more drag queen makeup now. So apart from obviously the BPerfect stuff, obviously my setting powder is Kimchi. If you don't know who Kimchi is, she was on RuPaul's Drag Race. She's designed setting powders, lipsticks, foundations, and all of those are really good because they come from the perspective of drag. And drag is obviously, theatre makeup. It's not natural makeup. So it's very different, and obviously you need to make sure that it can withstand sort of the nylon wigs, the hot costumes, the lights, the environment that you're in as well. So no, to answer your question, really, I don't tend to move unless I've heard of something that's really really popular or really good. Actually, like these shape sticks. I used to have a palette of cream contours, and I used to use that. It was from NYX Cosmetics, and that was really lovely. And then somebody said, "Oh, you should just use a shape stick." And then I was like, "What's a shape stick?" And they introduced me to it, and then I've never really looked back since. Um, so yes. Julie, what exactly is drag? Oh, lovely message. Lovely comment. So drag, I'll give you a little bit of an education. So drag originally started in um in Shakespearean times, where women were not allowed to enter quite wrongly as well, weren't allowed to enter the performing space as it was deemed by, I think it was, I can't remember who it was actually, but somebody thought it would get the women too hot under the collar to play all these acting roles, and therefore women were not allowed, which is obviously incorrect because some of the best actors in the world are women. Um, and so men who were more effeminate or more who weren't as masculine were basically put in dresses, and the dresses would drag along the floor, hence why it would be called drag. But essentially, normally, and it's changed very much over the years actually. Drag is for anybody and everybody. Um, I think if you look at the traditional sense of drag, it is men who dress as women. However, you also now have AFAB drag queens, AFAB drag kings, and AFAB obviously is assigned female at birth. Um, one of the drag children in my drag family is an AFAB drag queen. She is a woman and she does extra makeup and puts wigs on and everything else. But drag essentially is just basically an escapism. You're creating a character that's moving on from yourself, or you're giving yourself power in a sense that isn't might not be there when you're out of drag. So essentially, drag is a performative art form, really, and it's for everybody. Everybody can try it. Everybody should try it, and everybody should do it. So yeah, that in essence is drag. Uh, Helen, how have I been celebrating Pride Month? So obviously, as chair of Peterborough Pride, we've done our own mini Pride event. I've also done some other events and bits and pieces for some other venues. But essentially, for me, it goes back to trying to put on safe spaces for people. I don't wherever anybody is living. I don't know where you're all living, but it's in Peterborough. There are no safe spaces for the LGBTQIA plus community. So part of my work is always trying to find safe spaces for people. And we have some fabulous venues here in Peterborough where you can go and, they'll put on nights for you. However, um, normally throughout the week they aren't safe spaces. So it's for me, um, it's just trying to create safe spaces, especially for young people and also the older community as well. The whole community really. There's nowhere for us to go, which is really hard. Especially because you have to enter other people's spaces in order to go and do things. So it is quite difficult to uh, try and exist sometimes. So yes, that's always been my ambition, and that's sort of why I started my drag journey as well, because I wanted to make quote unquote straight spaces into queer friendly or LGBTQIA plus friendly spaces. Um, and we have had some success, um, and Pride has taken real ownership of that. However, there is more work that needs to be done. There are more venues that need to have us invited and involved, and especially locally as well. And having local queer people, not just people that you come from Manchester or London or Liverpool. There's nothing wrong with those people coming and doing things. But the problem is that obviously when they leave and go back to their homes that are safe havens, they don't know the realization of the work that needs to be done. Or they might realize it, but they then can't help going forward. So that's really difficult, because then local people have to try and pick up from where somebody that's come from a really progressive place to move forward. So I would always advocate, if anybody is watching that has a venue, um, employ a local queer person to do your LGBTQIA plus evening, because if there are members of the community there that are from your local town, there is a kinship between those people. So I would definitely suggest that you get sort of more local people. But that's basically, I've gone on a massive tangent and I apologize. But that's sort of what I've been doing over Pride Month. And it's lovely to see the t-shirts and the gnomes and everything else. And celebrating. However, Pride isn't really just a month. It's also all year round. So it's trying to get those um, venues and people and businesses to realize that actually, if you invest in LGBTQIA plus people, who are some of the most creative people that you will ever meet, then you are going to have a much more fun, creative, and exciting workplace or venue or business. Uh, Thank you for everybody for joining us, and thank you for all your questions. If you have any more, let me know. Um, and yeah, however, I am pretty much done. So like I say, you can follow me on social media at Teddy TDQ or Teddy957. That's with an I, not a Y. You can look at my website, www.teddythedragqueen.co.uk. Let's just see. Yes, thank you so much, Virtual Village Hall. You've put my little links in. Or you can come round to any one of my shows. This Saturday, I am at the Queen's Head in Peterborough, giving them a dragtastic evening. I also do drag bingos up and down the country. So you can come in and see me there. Most predominantly, though, I'm at the Chalkboard in Peterborough. And also, please make sure, if you can, please try and donate to our Pride, Peterborough Pride. You can find us on Fundraiser, or you can come along to an event, give us some money. Hopefully, I've been able to give you some tips, tricks, and some education here today. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with you. If you do want to have any messages, please do pass them on. You can pass them on to the Royal Voluntary Service, Virtual Village Hall, or you can contact me directly. That's absolutely fine. But I've had a wonderful time today. Thank you so much for having me. And like I say, hopefully I can see you soon and do that eye look. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.